Welcome back. Talk about pure despair. A paralyzed girl is left all alone at home. Her once gentle golden retriever gets a terrible infection. Her closest companion turns into a bloodthirsty monster. Since the girl cannot move, what kind of fate awaits her? A sudden car accident takes Vera's life. It also leaves Elena paralyzed in a wheelchair. To help her overcome the trauma, Miguel takes her to an old country house. The place is isolated, but the surroundings are beautiful. Miguel safe-proofs the entire old house. He installs a small pet door and ties ropes to the doorknobs. He even adds an automated lift to the stairs. Athos, the service dog they brought along, is also incredibly smart. With just a whistle, he opens doors and even draws the curtains. But the problem is, Athos is a little too smart. As soon as they get home, they smell a rotting stench. Miguel follows the odor into the kitchen. He finds a dead bat lying on the floor. Before Miguel can even find a broom, the dog curiously runs over to sniff it. But unexpectedly, the bat is not completely dead, bites the dog on the snout, and struggles to fly up. Luckily, Miguel reacts quickly and kicks the bat to neutralize it. After that, Miguel does not think much of the bite wound on the dog and only wipes it with a towel. Then he throws the dead bat outside the door. But this careless decision brings them massive trouble, because that bat is already infected with a zombie virus. The virus invades the dog's body and mutates wildly. Although she knows Miguel moves to the countryside and gets a companion dog just to cheer her up, Elena does not want to talk or accept anything new right now. So she tricks the dog into opening the door and locks him outside. Of course, besides the dog, Lucy also has a pet ferret that she has raised for years. But she stops taking care of it after becoming paralyzed. However, accidents always happen when least expected. When Miguel goes to the car to get the luggage, he suddenly has a heart attack and collapses to the ground without warning. Elena witnesses this with her own eyes, but is completely helpless, moving around anxiously in her room. She wants to call someone for help, but the phone is placed high up on a cabinet. Being completely paralyzed, she cannot reach it at all, so she drives her wheelchair to slam hard into the cabinet. She wants the phone to fall down from the top of the cabinet. But unexpectedly, Elena falls into a coma just like that. Danger is also gradually approaching. By nightfall, the virus kicks in inside the dog that was bitten by the bat, and he gnaws on a tree in the yard with bloodshot eyes. When Elena wakes up the next day, the sky outside is already bright. Seeing Miguel still lying outside motionless, she cries out in despair, but he does not respond at all. Elena pulls the rope and finally manages to open the side door. But the steps at the door become another problem. With no other choice, she can only go out through the front door. She returns to the kitchen and struggles to find a pair of tongs. She plans to use it to pull the front door rope, but as soon as she reaches the entrance, she sees Athos staring intently at her from outside. At this time, Elena does not know the dog has already mutated. She takes out the tongs and begins to pull the rope when suddenly the dog snaps. Elena backs up repeatedly in fear. She calls the dog's name, trying to calm him down. Just then, the pet ferret hears the noise and crawls over. Unexpectedly, the rabid dog lunges from below and bites its body directly. Elena wants to help, but she cannot move. Luckily, the pet ferret struggles wildly and breaks free from its adversary. Elena also blows the training whistle Miguel gave her. Hearing the whistle, the adversary calms down, but he does not leave, and instead looks around for other entrances to the house. Elena suddenly remembers that the side door is still open, so she quickly rushes over to close it. She thinks the adversary will give up, but it is unexpectedly smart. Instead of backing down, it climbs up the pipes to the second floor. Elena looks up in terror and struggles to blow the whistle again. But the whistle has little effect on the adversary now. On the second floor, the adversary begins slamming against the railing. If it breaks, she will become the dog's next meal. Just then, the clock on the wall chimes. The adversary seems startled and runs away with its tail between its legs. Seeing this, Elena realizes the dog might be afraid of loud noises. So she quickly uses the tongs to turn on the tape recorder and cranks the volume to the maximum. Sure enough, the massive noise makes the adversary crash through the window and escape. Just like that, night falls, and the rabid dog does not try to charge into the room again. Although she can tolerate the loud music playing around her, she is now feeling extremely hungry. With no one to take care of her, she can only drink drops of water left in the refrigerator. She eats the dog snacks that are originally kept in her wheelchair. To prevent a night attack from the adversary, she also throws a few broken bottles around the window. The only companion she has left is the pet ferret in her arms. But soon, Elena also notices something strange about the ferret. Not only does it start shaking all over, but sharp fangs also grow in its mouth. Elena remembers that the adversary bit it before. To save the ferret from further suffering, Elena wants to directly terminate it. But since she is completely paralyzed, she has absolutely no strength in her hands. The startled ferret struggles and runs away. The radio, which has been playing all day, stops working because it runs out of power. Elena does not despair, because before coming to the cabin, Salva promised to check on her the next morning. Sure enough, the next day, Salva arrives outside the cabin door. But the adversary also quietly creeps up behind Salva. At the critical moment, Elena blows the whistle again. The adversary is affected and pauses for a moment. Salva takes the opportunity to pull out a knife. He stabs it directly into the adversary's back. Although the adversary feels the pain, it does not stop biting. But Salva takes the opportunity to stand up and finally makes it inside the house. The rabid dog does not give up and keeps slamming against the door from outside. Holding the front door tightly, Salva tells Elena to get into the room while he stays behind to hold off this beast. Not long after she enters the room, Elena hears Salva's cries of distress from inside. After that, everything goes quiet outside.
Salva?
The adversary starts slamming against the room's door again. Desperate, she used the tongs to turn the doorknob and finally escaped the room before her enemies open the door. Elena uses her wheelchair to block the bathroom door. Outside, the adversary still roars loudly. With nowhere left to run, she completely breaks down. Elena looks down and notices the sleeping pills she brought along earlier. So she comes up with another plan. Elena takes out a pill, crushes it into powder, and mixes it into the pet treats. Then she throws them out through the crack. Now she can only pray that the dog still likes to eat this stuff. Soon, good news arrives. The adversary outside goes completely silent. Elena carefully opens the door to check. In another room, she finds the drowsy dog. Taking this opportunity, she quietly goes to the stairs and turns on the lift. The lift makes a little noise, alerting the dog. By now, she is already a nervous wreck. As the lift descends to the second floor, Elena finally breathes a sigh of relief. She tries to use a mirror to check downstairs, but the next second, she screams. Luckily, the rope breaks. The adversary falls from the second floor and gets knocked out. The crisis is temporarily over. Elena comes to the second floor to look for a phone. But the floor outside the bedroom is uneven. A pile of tangled wires blocks her way. The wheelchair cannot pass through at all. While she is anxiously thinking of a way, the pet ferret that ran away last night appears, and it has completely mutated. The pet ferret keeps attacking her body. Unable to move, she can do nothing about it. In desperation, she can only speed up her wheelchair and charge toward the window. Luckily, the pet ferret is thrown out by inertia. After that, Elena also finds a wooden board, places it on the ground, and successfully enters the bedroom. The phone is right on top of the table. Elena uses a tool to slide the phone over. Although she is already extremely careful, the phone still accidentally drops onto her feet. However, by a stroke of luck, this actually allows her to dial and successfully call the police. But unexpectedly, after hearing her say there is a zombie dog and a zombie ferret, they think it is a prank and hang up right away. Elena collects her emotions, but just as she prepares to dial another number, she panics and drops the phone straight onto the ground. This time, her mindset completely explodes, and she throws the tool aside. She originally wants to give up and stop struggling, but after seeing Miguel on the ground, Elena gets her head back in the game. She goes to the stairwell and checks the situation downstairs. She finds that the adversary is already gone, so she musters up her courage and takes the lift downstairs. After safely reaching the first floor, she sees Salva lying on the ground, motionless, and opens the main door. Elena uses all her strength to frantically shout outside for help, but there is no one around in this rural countryside. Not only does no one respond to her, but it actually attracts the adversary instead. Elena turns her head to look, and the adversary stares straight at her. Drool drips from its mouth as the adversary slowly approaches. Elena immediately smashes a wine bottle on the table. Then she drops the lighter in her hand, creating a wall of fire between them. Feeling the intense heat in front of it, the adversary dares not step forward and runs away. But unexpectedly, this beast is too smart and actually circles around behind Elena. The adversary bites down hard on Elena's thigh. In the chaos, Elena loops the chain from the wheelchair around the dog's neck. Then she unfastens the straps on her body. She starts the wheelchair and accelerates towards the side door. Elena is thrown 2 meters away. The rabid dog is pinned under the wheelchair and cannot move. After an unknown amount of time, a passerby who spots the fire saves her and rushes her to the hospital. But is this really the end of the story? With Salva bitten inside the house, the pet ferret missing, and Elena on her way to the hospital, this is a perfect setup for the virus to spread further. The director leaves us with plenty of room for imagination. As a low-budget movie, the entire plot revolves around one person and a dog. For the first time, it feels like a dog being too smart is not a good thing. The pacing and atmosphere building are pretty good. The contrast between a family pet and a zombie dog is also massive. See you next time.